Welcome back to another season preview on SJHL.ca. And this season preview is presented by the Saskatchewan Construction Safety Association. And today we are pleased to be joined by the head coach and general manager of the Melfort Mustangs, Trevor Blevins. Trevor, thanks so much for taking some time. How's it going today?
Great. Thank you so much. You bet. Excellent. Hope all is well with you.
As the SJHL season kind of gets going, before we get into talking about this coming 2022-2023 season, maybe let's just chat a little bit about last year. A third place finish in the regular season for the Melfort Mustangs, pretty successful during that regular season, but then a heartbreaking loss in that first round to Yorkton. When you look back at last year for your hockey club, what kind of things can you kind of take away when you reflect on it?
Well, I think we really had an excellent group. I thought our character was there. We had an excellent work ethic, and I really liked that we pushed down the stretch to get that banner that we needed for our division. I thought it was a huge experience for us. We treated everything like a playoff game for the last 12, 15 games. It was that tight of a race. So I felt that was excellent, and we pushed through that. And unfortunately we lost in that seventh game against Yorkton, but full credit to them. They played well and they played hard, and it's the way it goes. We felt we kind of did outplay them throughout the series a bit, but the result didn't take care of itself. So it's kind of like, but I mean, overall, excellent year as far as where we're at. And I know you'll get into it, but we're really excited about our returning players coming back in.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, you have a good core of returning players, but there were some pieces that you lost due to graduation. How has it been this off season? Putting on your general manager hat, and for recruiting and transactions when it comes to trying and fill out this roster ahead of this season.
Well, we're really excited about our group coming back. We have 16 players back. So it's, a core group that we have, Joel Favreau back in net, 5 veteran defensemen, and a really solid forward group returning to build around. So for us, it's going to be about, adding depth and maybe a little more firepower up front, and, a little bit stability on the back end. But we're real excited about, what we have back, and a lot of our, really good players are returning, and that were key pieces last year. So we're looking to hit the ground running off the start for sure.
Now, you mentioned having 16 returning players from last season and that experience of winning a division first round playoff series. How valuable is that experience for that returning core?
Well, I think they're going to be hungry for sure. I know everyone was real disappointed about last season, how it finished off, and felt we could have been deeper. So, this is one of the first years I've been in the league where in my 9 years, every player is returning. So, whether someone goes to school or someone, decides to move on in life, this group's been focused, I think, since the end of the season to get back at it and prove something. So we're excited to do that, and we feel we can contend.
Now, you mentioned how excited you guys are as a coaching staff and an organization ahead of this season. But when you look at your core coming back and your team, as you look at your roster board, where do you think the strength of the Melfort Mustangs is this year?
Honestly, I think almost all the way through. And I don't want to sound arrogant, but, we got Joel Favreau in net. He's a 20-year-old goaltender that's got great experience in the league and is very capable. And like I said, on defense, we've got Tuba, Minnock, O'Lion, Olofsson, Emai, so we've got 5 veteran guys back on defense, and up front, we've got Ben Tkachuk and Dawson LaRue. So Ben will be his 4th year in the league, and he's hoping to get something as a deal, but he's also our captain last season, and for him to return and be our captain again will be huge. And so, we've got Zach Summers up front, to name a few, Trenton Curtis, Boston Maxwell. So there's a lot of pieces there. I don't want to go through everyone, but it's everyone's valuable and everyone's going to fit in and play a big role for us.
Now, you mentioned a few names there just briefly, but in your eyes, when it comes to, players coming into the Melfort Mustangs or players that are playing into their second year, who do you think is somebody on the Melfort Mustangs or a couple of players that are poised to make a significant jump in their development that maybe SJHL fans should probably pay a little bit more attention to?
Well, that's tough to do as a coach, right? To single out. But I honestly, I feel we've got a group of 20-year-olds that'll be, second to none. If I want to, single out anybody, I think it'll be that group alone. We've got just experience in there, and we've got guys that are really, I think, going to tip the hat of maybe possibly getting an NCAA Division I deal if things work out for them. But we'll definitely have an opportunity to move on in hockey and in their schooling. So, when it's all said and done, that's what it's all about, is giving these players opportunities to move on in life and be successful. And I think, given what we have this year, they'll get the exposure to do that.
And it sounds like, to wrap up, it sounds like you guys, after everything that happened last year, your returning group, it sounds like you guys as an organization for the Melfort Mustangs have some pretty high expectations for this year.
Well, we always try and be in the mix for sure. Every year we've done a pretty good job of that as far as, our board and people that work behind the scenes and our staff. And so, we have that expectation and that culture to be a winning program. And that starts from the bottom up. And in my opinion, we try and develop as much as we can the individual player. And with that, you'll get team success. So we're looking forward to get going next weekend, and we're going to hit the ground running, hopefully.
It's an exciting time, to say the least. Trevor, thank you so much for your time, and best of luck this season.
Thank you, Jeromy.
That is the head coach and general manager of the Melfort Mustangs, Trevor Blevins. And the Mustangs will open up their 2022-2023 season in Flin Flon on September 16th, and then play their home opener on September 17th against the Laurent Ice Wolves.